This story is tragic. This is Le'Veon Parker, a 20-year-old young man who was vacationing on the Royal Caribbean's Liberty of the Seas cruise ship. The ship was bound for Cuba and the Bahamas when tragedy struck. Le'Veon was there with his father, Francel, and his 18-year-old younger brother. Late one night last week, witnesses say an argument ensued between Le'Veon and his father, a claim Francel firmly denies. The situation escalated quickly, and before anyone could react, Le'Veon jumped from the 18-story cruise ship into the darkness below. The chaos that followed was immense, with Francel throwing 6 life rings into the water, hoping to save his son, while the crew launched search boats and alerted the Coast Guard. According to Francel, Le'Veon wasn't attempting to harm himself, but rather acted on a drunken, impulsive decision. He questions how his underage son was served alcohol on board. Despite the efforts, the search was called off, leaving Francel holding on to his faith, believing against all odds that Le'Veon is still alive. We don't know what truly motivated Le'Veon that night, but what we do know is that America is in a mental health crisis. According to statistics, a significant portion of young people battle mental health issues, yet many go without treatment thanks to a capitalist mental health care system more focused on profit than on people. Critics argue that such tragedy highlight the critical need for a society that prioritizes mental health care over making money. Our prayers are with Le'Veon and his family.
Man, my prayers do go out to this family, and I don't know why you did that, young man. Just because your father care and love you, and he was just wondering who in the heck then sold my damn son, or gave my damn son, I should say, some alcohol, and he's underage. This is a family trip. It sounds like, bonding time that just turned into a whole fucking crazy night. And I know his heart is in pieces. His whole world shattered. You know what I'm saying? Because that's far. 18. Oh my, that's far. That is super far. I know if I had to, I would do it. But at the same time, in the dark, you drunk, you not knowing what the hell you could encounter. Like, man, that is just very crazy. And then they ain't even say if he could swim or not. So we don't even know if he can swim. So, oh man, this is crazy. So y'all, mental health is so real. If you're going through something or can't handle that, when somebody love you, they only want the best and they're not saying things to tear you down or make you feel any less. It's just, oh man, that's crazy. I don't know what I would do if that was my kid. I think I know I wouldn't ever go on a cruise ship again just because of that moment. And it's traumatizing. I can't even lie because I see what it do to people, and mental health is so real.
What we're about to show you is extremely graphic. It begins with a seemingly routine traffic stop on the west side of Chicago. Watch as officers go up to the car of a young black man that they've stopped. One officer demands the windows be rolled down.
Roll that one down too.
As the driver appears to hesitate.
Do not roll the window up. Unlock the doors now.
After a few seconds of demands from the officers, all hell breaks loose.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
A gun battle erupts between the driver and the cops as the cops scatter for safety. In a part of the video that's way too graphic to show here, the driver eventually gets out of the car and the officers keep firing at him even as his body slumps down to the ground dead. In all, police fired 96 shots in just 45 seconds, and surprise, the police investigation claims the driver fired first. The driver was this man, 26-year-old Dexter Reed. And what was he pulled over for, you may ask? Not wearing a seatbelt. His family and the community are outraged.
We don't need armed police officers to tell somebody to put their seatbelt on. Dexter's vehicle had tinted windows, so the argument that they were looking for a seatbelt issue doesn't make sense.
Reed had been a basketball standout back in high school and had hoped to go into broadcasting. His mother said this.
He had just bought his new car 3 days before that, and he was just riding around in his car. He said, "Mom, I'm going for a ride." And they killed him. They killed him.
Critics say incidents like this illustrate why we need to abolish the police in the United States, totally rethinking how we do community safety in this country, while at the same time reforming our economy so every single person has a place to live, food to eat, adequate health care, and a guaranteed income. What would safety look like if everybody had the basic necessities of life covered? This whole thing is still being investigated. Rest in peace, Dexter.
Man, that's crazy. And just for the simple fact, he knew what he was doing. I mean, he's one of those guys that use the law and, his position to be able to abuse his authority. And that's why, he went to this department, had complaints, went to that department, all this and extra stuff that we just heard. Yeah. So he's one of them type of guys. And that's just really messed up. That the people, if we call on you for anything that we need, we gotta be afraid of how you gonna approach us and we the one who called you. Or we driving, tinted windows. How did you know I didn't have a seatbelt on and my windows is dark? So with that being said, you just a trigger happy person. And yeah, he probably didn't, he probably wasn't in the way he carried himself and the things he was doing at that time. But that don't give this person the right to be like, oh, I got this power to be able to choose somebody's life or destiny, path, whatever you want to look at it. We don't have that type of right. Now, if we educate someone on some things and they decide to choose to do the right thing or whatever path they decide to go and do, guess what? That's totally up to them and who they believe in or what they believe in. But that don't give an individual human the right to be able to say, oh, well, I think you're this type of person. I'm going to choose your faith today.